In this video, we are going to work on multiplication and division of surds. Now for multiplication, the rule is you can write down two numbers, like for example 3 times 2 in one surd, right? Or you can write them separately, 3 and 2 in separate square roots. So these are equal. Remember, this was wrong. You cannot write square root of 3 plus square root of 2 in one surd and add them. You cannot say this is the square root of 5. Although, if it is multiplication, you can do that. And it also applies to division. If you have square roots of 6 divided by square root of 2, you can write it as in one square root, like square root of 6 over 2, which you can then simplify to square root of 3. And it works in reverse order, both of them. Meaning, if you write square root of 5 times square root of 2, you can end up with square root of 5 times 2, which is square root of 10. And if you have square root of, let's say, 7 over 3, you can write these as square root of, it's going to be a small one, small square root of 7 and square root of 3 separately. This works well actually when it is not the square root of 3 but square root of, let's say, 4, because then you can say that this is going to be square root of 7 over square root of 4, of which you can take the square root of the one in the bottom. So it's going to be square root of 7 over 2, right? So we're going to use this idea, especially when it comes to division, later on. But we're now going to focus more on multiplication. So let's see an example. Simplify square root of 3 times, in brackets, 4 plus 2 square root of 12. So you know, if you have a number in front of a bracket, so it's going to be like, let's say, b plus c, you just expand the brackets, and that's what we're going to do here, right? And then you're going to end up, say, ab plus ac when you expand it, right? So that's what we're going to do. Root 3 times 4. Now, this is important because this will not be root 12 and this will not be 12. It will just be 4 times root 3, because surds and integers cannot be multiplied. This is very, very important. It's going to be 4 square root of 3 plus root 3 times 2 root 12. Now, you cannot multiply root 3 by 2, but you can multiply root 3 by root 12, which would be, if I do it here, root 3 times root 12. Well, it's going to be root 3 times 12, which will give me root 36. And this means 6, because I can take the square root of 36, as it's a square number. So, basically, I can just go like 2 root 36, and then I can just simplify it to 2 times 3, 6, right? And then this will turn to 4 root 3 plus 12. That's it. So remember, you cannot multiply surds with integers. Although you can multiply surds with surds, or obviously you can multiply integers with integers, but these two do not mix. Another example. Now in this one you have two terms in both brackets, so the multiplication will follow like this. You're going to multiply 6 by 1, and then by square root of 2, and then you will multiply square root of 2 by 1, and then square root of 2 by square root of 2. So basically, what you're going to have is that 6 times square root of 2, it's 6 square root of 2. It's not 12 or square root of 12, it's just 6 square root of 2. Sorry, why did I start with that? It's going to be 6 times 1, which is 6, and then it's going to be 6 square root of 2. And then you're going to go on with square root of 2 times 1, which is square root of 2. You don't need to write 1 square root of 2. Square root of 2 alone is enough. And square root of 2 times square root of 2 will be, well, square root of 4, because you can multiply them. 2 times 2 makes 4. And then you have to simplify. That's going to be 6 plus, now there are 6 square root of 2 here and 1 here, so it's going to be 7 square root of 2 plus square root of 4 is 2. So basically you end up with 8 plus 7 square root of 2, and that's going to be the answer. So it is very important to understand how we get this multiplication. We multiply 6 by 1 and 6 by square root of 2, and then we multiply square root of 2 by 1 and then square root of 2 by square root of 2. Another example. Now here the same idea applies, but you have to be careful that there is a minus sign here, and it will change the signs of some of the terms to minus, so you have to be careful. So again, it's going to be 2 times 3, which is 6, 2 times root 5, where it's going to be 2 root 5, but just because you multiply 2 by negative root 5, so it's plus times minus, it's going to be minus. Then you have root 5 times 3, so you write 3 root 5, and then last you multiply root 5 by root 5, which you end up with root of 25. But again, just because you multiply plus and minus, you end up with minus. Let's simplify this now. We have 6, we have minus 2 plus 3, which gives me 1, so it's going to be root 5 only. And then we have the square root of 25, which I end up with 5 when I take the square root of 25, right? So basically it's 6 minus 5, which is 1 minus root 5. That's the simplest form. Now work on these questions and solve on your book, and then submit your answers online. Thank you.